We are back with the Prime News Friday edition on S3, live from our SABC News studios here in Auckland Park in Johannesburg. At the end of the work week, these stories dominate the headlines tonight.
You're saying that Mr. Matlala and Mr. Molefe were known as Izinkabi, or they were contacted by Mr. Msibi to procure Izinkabi?
Taxi boss Joe Ferrari Sibanyoni has told the Madlanga Commission that Katiso KT Molefe moved his alleged drug-related activities to the farm of the late Jotham Swazi Msibi.
Murder has declined, confirming a trend that has been evident over a period of time now.
Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says notable decreases have been recorded in several of the country's most serious contact crimes in the latest quarter.
In eThekwini, the party will be represented by Comrade Zandile Hlophe Mkhwanazi.
And the MK party has intensified preparations for the 2026 local government elections by confirming its leadership slates in 6 metropolitan areas. Good evening, it's just gone 8 o'clock and time for Prime News on S3. As we head into the weekend, let's take a moment to get updated on some of the day's main news events. I am Gustav Freiling, and joining me here in studio tonight is our sign language interpreter, Fortune Madlala. Now, let's get to tonight's top story. Taxi boss Joe Ferrari Sibanyoni has told the Madlanga Commission that the alleged cartel member Katiso KT Molefe moved his alleged drug-related activities to the farm of the late Jotham Swazi Msibi. Now, Sibanyoni, however, could not be drawn on the source of his allegations about Molefe and activities on the farm of the late alleged leader of the Big Five cartel, Msibi. Now, Msibi and Sibanyoni fell out after what Sibanyoni describes as an attempt on his life, allegedly by Msibi.
The Madlanga Commission has heard that a fallout between taxi bosses Joe Ferrari Sibanyoni and Jotham Swazi Msibi over an alleged attempt on Sibanyoni's life would result in Msibi surrounding himself with what Sibanyoni describes as Izinkabi. Sibanyoni claims that Katiso KT Molefe and Vusimuzi Kat Matlala were among those said Izinkabi.
So you're saying that Mr. Matlala and Mr. Molefe were known as Izinkabi, or they were contacted by Mr. Msibi to procure Izinkabi?
Yeah, in addition to that, I add them both. There's a portion where it's Izinkabi. In addition to that, you find there's Kat Matlala in, you find there's Katiso in.
Sibanyoni would further allege that Molefe moved his drug-related activities to the farm of Msibi.
You're saying Mr. Molefe relocated his criminal operations, specifically drug-related activities, at the farm. On what basis do you make that allegation?
Yeah. I've made it clear, Commissioners, that all those 2 bases, it was a hearsay, all those 2, but I connect those 2 incidents. People are fighting, people are dying, and they are now in one space. And that space is specifically directed to me.
The hearings continue on Monday at 9:30 a.m. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Now, the controversial businessman Vusimuzi Kat Matlala is set to join suspended National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola and several senior police officials back in court next month. The Pretoria Regional Court has postponed the matter to the 29th of September in the case involving the controversial R228 million SABC Medicare 24 tender.
Clearance was just to confirm that the state has completed the disclosure of the case docket, but also to inform this court that following the withdrawal of Mr. Kat Matlala on his plea and sentence agreement with the state, he will be brought back. His matter will be transferred back to the regional court, where he's expected to be joined with 14 others, together with his 2 companies.
Judgment has been reserved in the bail application of suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. Mkhwanazi appeared in the Germiston Magistrates Court alongside alleged kingpin Vusimuzi Matlala and Ekurhuleni Fleet Manager Chris Steyn. They are facing charges of corruption, fraud and defeating the ends of justice. And this relates to the alleged unlawful fitment of blue lights on vehicles owned by Matlala's company, CAT VIP Protection Services.
The state alleges that Julius Mkhwanazi and Chris Steyn were involved in the registration of cars belonging to Vusimuzi Ket Matlala's company under the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality. It says the vehicles were then fitted with blue lights and sirens. During his bail application, Steyn denied the allegations.
He has substantially cooperated with the investigation, full well accepting and expecting that he would ultimately be appearing before a court, but not interfering, not fleeing, quite the contrary.
Mkhwanazi allegedly also received at least 70,000 rand from Matlala's companies.
I deny the charges being referred against me. I fully ventilated my defense thereto during my evidence before the Commission and the disciplinary proceedings that have been brought at EMPD. 16. I was confronted with these allegations during my questioning in the Madlanga Commission, as well as during my various questioning by members of the IPID investigating team. I deny emphatically these allegations.
Matlala asked for a postponement to his bail application. Steyn successfully applied for bail.
Accused number 1, you're remanded in custody. You will be kept at the Benoni police station. Accused number 2, in custody. Accused number 3, bail is granted in the amount of 10,000 rand.
Neria Hlakutsa, SABC News, Germiston, Ekurhuleni.
The MK Party has intensified preparations for the 2026 local government elections by confirming its leadership slates in 6 metropolitan areas. MKP Secretary-General Sibonelo Nomvalo says the move aims to sharpen the party's electoral strategy and strengthen its presence in key urban centres. Nomvalo has also highlighted its community-based healthcare initiatives, saying its medical outreach programs are assisting residents who struggle to access essential services.
I hereby present to you and present to the nation our mayoral candidates, which are going to be the faces of the MK Party in all municipalities across, metro municipalities across, in all 8 metro municipalities across. But we are going to present for 6 municipalities, not for 8 municipalities. In Johannesburg Metro Municipality, the MK Party will be represented by Comrade Bongani Baloyi as its mayoral candidate. In Ekurhuleni, the party will be represented by Comrade Chulani Shongwe.
Three ANC members who were killed in Knysna in the Western Cape last week are being laid to rest this weekend. The funeral of former Knysna Mayor and Ward 8 Councillor Aubrey Tsvenga is taking place tomorrow, and that of former Ward 7 Councillor Mandla Matiwane is scheduled for Sunday. A taxi leader, Mandla Teololo, was laid to rest in Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape today. Police operations in Knysna have been heightened following a deadly shootout on Wednesday, in which a police captain and a suspect were killed. 3 suspects arrested in connection with Tsvenga's murder will make their second appearance in court on Monday. Investigations into the 3 killings continue. When we come back, Cabinet says preparations for the upcoming local government elections are on track. More on this after the break. Welcome back. Cabinet says preparations for the November 4th local government elections are on track. It adds that the government of national unity is still intact despite tough competition ahead of the polls. The assurance was given earlier today by Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni.
Just over 2 months to go before South Africans head to the polls, Cabinet says government's preparations are proceeding well.
Cabinet noted that coordination mechanisms across national, provincial and local spheres of government were in place to support a free, fair, credible and peaceful electoral process.
It has condemned the violence that has marred the run-up to the polls and called for political tolerance, warning that intimidation and violence cannot be allowed to undermine the electoral process.
Cabinet has strongly condemned the recent killings of councillors and appreciated the swift response of the law enforcement agencies in finding perpetrators of these heinous crimes. Cabinet called on all South Africans to uphold political tolerance, reject intimidation, reject violence, and reject any conduct that undermines the integrity of the electoral process as the country prepares for the 2026 local government election.
It has called for South Africans to turn up and exercise their right to vote.
Cabinet welcomed ongoing measures to strengthen voter participation, combat misinformation and ensure operational readiness.
Ntshavheni also said that government is keeping a close eye on developments related to the flooding disaster in Nepal, where a reported 6 South Africans remain unaccounted for. She says South Africa's mission in neighbouring China is monitoring what assistance it can offer. Zara Groenewald, SABC News, Pretoria.
There is a notable decrease in the most serious contact crimes in the country, and there's also been some significant declines in crimes such as carjacking, residential robberies, business robberies and cash-in-transit robberies. And this is according to the Acting Police Minister, Firoz Kachalia. He released the statistics of crimes that occurred during the first quarter of the 2026-2027 financial year in Pretoria earlier today.
Media on the release of the quarterly crime statistics, Acting Police Minister Professor Firoz Kachalia said even though challenges remain, police are making inroads in fighting crime in the country.
The first quarter crime stats demonstrate that we are making progress. And I do know that because we're seeing what's going on in the Madlanga Commission every day, and because every day our people experience violent crime, it's difficult to believe, but there is progress.
Following the recent shooting of 2 police officers attached to the anti-gang unit in Recha Park and other gang-related issues around the country, police say budget allocations have been made available to strengthen the anti-gang unit.
There is a specific budget allocated this year, over 70 million rand, that has been allocated by the Acting National Commission to make sure that we capacitate anti-gang unit. But there is also other resources that are coming from the CARA Fund that we are going to be deploying to support them. So we hope with the coordination of the work that they do, together with the anti-organized crime strategy that we are implementing, we are going to have successful operations.
They are working with other government structures to safeguard the upcoming local government elections.
And we will deliver a safe and secure LGEs. All our structures have been activated.
Crime experts have weighed in on the released crime stats.
What this result does say is that South Africa remains a war zone, particularly for the working class and the poor.
Police say alcohol remains a primary driver of violence in the country. Calvin Lula, SABC News.
South Africa will bid farewell to boxing icon Zolani last-born Tete tomorrow. Final preparations are underway for his funeral at Sisa Dukashe Stadium in Mdantsane in the Eastern Cape. Tete, the 38-year-old two-time world champion, was shot dead outside his home in the town on the 21st of August. Now, Tete's boxing legacy includes world titles in 2 divisions, the IBF Junior Bantamweight crown won in 2014 and the WBO Bantamweight title, along with a Guinness World Record for the fastest knockout in a world title fight, stopping Sibunuso Gonya in just 11 seconds in 2017. President Cyril Ramaphosa approved the Eastern Cape Provincial Government's request to accord Tete a special provincial official funeral, Category 2, in recognition of his extraordinary contribution to South African sport. When we return, the SAFA Governance Committee has confirmed that the 2 candidates contesting the organisation's presidency are both eligible to stand. More on this coming up after the break. Welcome back. It's only the 2nd test of the series, but rugby's greatest rivalry has already reached boiling point. The Springboks must beat the All Blacks in Cape Town on Saturday to keep their hopes of an outright series win alive.
There is not much in Test rugby that Springbok captain Siya Kolisi has not faced. His 105 Test caps worth of experience will be thoroughly tested against the All Blacks in this must-win encounter.
This is a four-game series, so it's important for us to get this win this weekend. And the nice thing is not just me. We've all been in this position before, like you say, with the Lions at the World Cup, losing the first game, and I think we know how to handle the situation.
New Zealand coach Dave Rennie says the All Blacks have been looking for where they can improve.
We're well aware that Springboks at their best are tough to beat anywhere. So, but we've talked a lot about us being better. We think we can be a lot better than we were last weekend, and so that's the key. We've got to be able to lift our level. We know they're going to be better.
Bok assistant coach Mzwandile Stick says the coaching staff has been searching for any missed opportunities from the first match.
Playing against the All Blacks, if you don't take opportunities like we had and we didn't convert, I don't want to go through the stats, but if you play against one of the best team in the world at the moment, I think that's one of the biggest lessons we've got from the game. But when it comes to build up, I think like any other game that we prepare for, we had to make sure that we prepare very well.
It's 4 years ago that the Green and Gold last lost in consecutive tests. The Boks are hoping they can turn around their fortunes in Cape Town. Simon Burke, SABC News.
The SAFA Governance Committee has confirmed that the 2 candidates contesting the organisation's presidency at next month's elective conference are both eligible to stand. Current South African Football Association President Danny Jordan is being opposed by AmaZulu FC President Sandile Zungu.
The independent SAFA Governance Committee about 20 days to complete the vetting process, and the complete list of candidates was handed over by Chairperson Victor Mokgajane. He confirmed that only 2 candidates would be contesting the position of SAFA President.
We received 2 candidates, and these 2 candidates were vetted. And according to the list, it means the nominations for presidential candidate are 2.
Vice Chairperson of the Governance Committee, Tumi Dlamini, says they did everything possible to check the eligibility of every single candidate.
SAFA operates as an association that has members, and those members have submitted the nominations through to us. And SAFA then has the responsibility to go back to those members who have submitted nominations and inform them of the results.
There must be a nomination, and that nomination must be made by a member, which is a region or an associate member. However, that member first must be in good standing.
SAFA has 14 days to inform all nominees about the outcome of the vetting process. Sfiso Ramara, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Now, just before we leave you tonight, it's time to check in with the SABC weather desk. Our colleague Kumza is standing by with your weekend forecast.
Good evening and welcome to the weather desk. Partly cloudy conditions over the western parts of South Africa, but still some rain and showers in places over the Eastern Cape this evening. Tomorrow there is an approaching cold front which is going to bring rain and showers in places over the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape, with a 60% chance of showers and rain between Plettenberg Bay and Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape. It is remaining mostly clear over the interior for tomorrow afternoon. The South African Weather Service has issued a yellow level 2 warning for damaging interior winds over the interior of the Northern Cape as well as the western central Karoo of the Western Cape. Another warning for damaging winds and waves along the coastal areas of KwaZulu-Natal for tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow similar conditions are expected, but the extremely high fire danger conditions extend mostly into the interior of the Northern Cape as well as the Eastern Cape. So please do take note if you are in these areas, as runaway fires are possible. It is a cool day in the Gauteng province for tomorrow, where Springs and Johannesburg are at 21, slightly warmer there in the north with Tshwane at a maximum of 22. A warm day in the western bushveld of the Limpopo province, where Liphalale and Thabazimbi are both at 26, but cool temperatures over the interior with Mokopane at 23, Polokwane reaching a maximum of 20. Morning fog patches along the escarpment of Mpumalanga, where it is still cool in places, where Ermelo is at 21, Carolina reaching a maximum of 22. A warm day in Skukuza at 27. Clear skies across most parts of KwaZulu-Natal with hot temperatures in the Midlands, where Pietermaritzburg is at 32, Vryheid a warm day at 26. Mostly warm temperatures across most parts of the Eastern Cape, but a hot day in Makhanda at a maximum of 30, along with Qonce. Cool temperatures there over the northern interior with Malitswai at 22. Rain and showers across most parts of the Western Cape tomorrow afternoon, where it is still cool along the southwest coast, where Cape Town, Hermanus and Cape Agulhas at 18. A warm day in the Little Karoo with Oudtshoorn at 28, Beaufort West reaching a maximum of 28. A cool day over the southern high ground of the Northern Cape, but warm temperatures across the province, where Uppington is at 30, Kuruman reaching a maximum of 25. Also some clear conditions across the Free State province with cool temperatures in places, but a warm day in Bothaville at 25, as well as Forest Smith, a cool day in Garib Dam at a maximum of 24. Then lastly, the Northwest province expecting fairly cool temperatures, but a warm day over the central and the western regions. Bloemhof at 25, while Vryburg will reach a maximum of 26. I'll leave you there with the weather. Good night.
And with that, the end of this week's Prime News. Our team will be back on Monday at 8, but in the meantime, you can stay updated on all our other SABC News platforms across radio, TV and online. Stay with S3 for DCI Banks up next and Premier League action later tonight. From myself and Fortune, have a wonderful evening.